Did you know that 99% of people fail the universe's final test? Carl Jung believed that the collective unconscious prepares us for major transformations through experiences that appear random, but actually follow a deep ancestral logic. And if you are here watching this exact video, you might be among the 1% who are about to pass this test. It may be that your soul already understands what your mind has not yet fully grasped. You are in the middle of the final test. That ultimate trial the universe applies only to souls who are ready to receive everything they deserve. But this is not just any test. This is the test that separates those who remain on the surface of life from those who dive into the depths of their own existence. It is the examination that distinguishes those who settle for little from those destined to live in true abundance. Most people think they are being punished when they are actually being prepared. And recognizing these signs is what will allow you to move through this phase without losing yourself. In this video, I will reveal the 7 signs of the universe's final test. These are the indicators that only the most prepared souls can identify. And if you recognize yourself in several of them, it means you are much closer to receiving everything you deserve than you imagine. So watch until the end, because this might be the moment when everything finally becomes clear. And subscribe to the channel if you have not already. First, we need to understand that the universe and the psyche are deeply connected. And what you experience externally is a direct reflection of what is happening internally. Jung called this synchronicity, when external events that seem to have no causal link carry deep symbolic meaning for those who experience them. But here is something even more powerful. The universe does not respond to your wishes. It responds to the frequency of your soul. And every time your soul is about to make an evolutionary leap to a new level of consciousness, a new life cycle, or a new reality, something needs to be tested. Your integrity, your coherence, your alignment between what you say you want and what you are ready to sustain. Because it is not only about deserving it, but about energetic readiness. The final test happens when the universe needs to ensure you will not repeat the same patterns as before. That is why it presents you with exactly the same triggers, the same destructive invitations, the same voids, not as punishment, but as proof. Not to check if you are perfect, but to see if you are aware. And if you do not understand what is happening, you will think you are being sabotaged when you are actually being refined. Carl Jung himself lived through this moment of testing. Few people know this, but he went through one of the greatest spiritual transformations of the 20th century precisely when he was rejected by everyone. When he broke with Freud, he did not just lose an intellectual ally. He was discredited, ridiculed, and isolated. His career seemed ruined. And it was in this abyss that something began to emerge from within him. Jung entered an intense process of self-exploration, carefully writing down dreams, symbols, images, and inner dialogues that came to his consciousness like visions. For years, he devoted himself to this solitary journey, not knowing whether he was going insane or being illuminated. This process became the legendary Red Book, an intimate journal where he recorded with courage every fragment of his descent into the depths of the soul. In it, Jung writes something that few fully understand. What is outside me is also inside, and what is inside manifests in the external world. This phrase carries the core of our topic. The universe does not send tests from outside to inside. It simply materializes in the visible world what your soul is already ready to face internally. That is why when everything starts to collapse, relationships, plans, certainties, it does not mean you are being punished. It means you have been summoned. You have entered a new stage of your life, a stage where nothing less than the truth will be tolerated. And the 7 signs I am about to reveal are not simple coincidences. They are spiritual markers, and only souls in the process of ascension can recognize them. The first sign that you are being subjected to the universe's final test is a persistent feeling of being watched and evaluated in every move you make. It is not paranoia. It is not imagination. It is a subtle but constant perception that every choice you make is being registered by a higher intelligence that you cannot see, but you know is present. You feel it when you wake up in the morning with a strange sense that the day will be different, even though nothing has apparently changed. You feel it when you make a simple decision, like choosing what to eat or which route to take to work, and something inside you whispers that this choice matters more than it should. It is as if there is an invisible lens focused on your life, observing not just what you do, but especially how and why you do it. Jung explained that there is a synchronicity between the inner and outer world that intensifies when we go through periods of deep transformation. What you are feeling is not coincidence. It is the universe testing your ability to remain conscious and intentional, even when you do not fully understand what is happening around you. Ordinary people live on autopilot, reacting to external stimuli without realizing that each reaction is a choice that shapes their reality. But you are not ordinary. You are someone who has developed the sensitivity needed to perceive when you are being tested. And this perception itself is already proof that you are ready for higher levels of existence. This feeling of being watched is not oppressive, it is energizing. It is as if a part of you that was asleep has awakened and can now see layers of reality that were previously hidden. You notice that your words carry more weight, that your gestures create ripples in the energy field around you, that your presence affects people differently. When you are being subjected to the final test, the universe sharpens your perception so you can consciously navigate this experience. It is as if you have been equipped with an internal radar that detects the importance of moments that would go unnoticed by others. You know you are being tested because your soul recognizes the unique texture of this experience. The second sign is that you begin to face a series of situations that seem specifically designed to test your emotional limits and your ability to remain centered. These are not coincidences. They are scenarios carefully arranged by the universe to evaluate whether you have truly integrated the lessons you claim to have learned. It might be an argument with someone close that touches exactly on the issues you thought you had already overcome, or a professional situation that requires you to demonstrate the confidence you have been developing. It could be a test of patience when you want to speed up processes, or a test of persistence when everything appears stagnant. These tests are not random. They are calibrated specifically for you based on your history, your wounds, your patterns, and your current capacity to handle challenges. It is as if the universe had a complete record of your journey and was applying personalized final exams to verify whether you have truly grown or just memorized some answers. What makes these tests so unique is that they do not only test your resistance, they test your wisdom, your ability to respond instead of react, and your skill in maintaining your elevated state, even when provoked to return to old patterns. They evaluate whether you can remain true to your deepest truth, even when it means facing discomfort, rejection, or misunderstanding. Jung said that the individuation process requires us to confront our shadow repeatedly, each time at a deeper level. The final test is when you show that you not only recognize your shadow, but have developed the mastery necessary to integrate it consciously instead of being controlled by it. When you go through these personalized tests, something remarkable happens. You notice that your reaction is no longer automatic. There is a pause, a space between the stimulus and your response, where you can consciously choose how you want to behave. This pause is the sign that you are operating at a higher level of consciousness. The third sign is that you experience an unusual acceleration in the manifestation of thoughts and intentions. It is as if the universe has drastically reduced the time between what you think, feel, or desire and what appears in your reality. But this acceleration is not random. It serves a specific purpose: testing your mental and emotional discipline. When you are being prepared to receive everything you deserve, the universe needs to make sure that you can consciously manage the power of manifestation. That is why the universe speeds up the process, so you can directly observe the link between your internal states and your external reality. You may notice that when you focus on something positive, opportunities connected to it appear more quickly. But you also see that when you allow negative thoughts or fears to dominate, they manifest with unusual speed as well. It is as if the universe is saying, if you want to co-create reality, then prove that you can be responsible for every thought, feeling, and intention you project. This acceleration can feel unsettling at first. You may feel like you are driving a vehicle that suddenly has far more power. The same force that can take you rapidly to your destination can also lead to mistakes if you do not learn to manage it with control and awareness. People undergoing this test often report experiences they would previously have considered impossible, coincidences that feel carefully arranged, encounters that occur at exactly the right moment, and solutions that appear seemingly out of nowhere. However, they may also experience unwanted manifestations with the same speed, especially when dense emotions dominate their inner state. The universe is showing you that when you finally receive everything you deserve, you will become a conscious co-creator of your reality. And conscious co-creators cannot afford to be careless with their inner processes. Every thought becomes a seed. Every emotion becomes fertile ground. Every intention becomes a creative force. The fourth sign is that you begin to feel an increasing sense of isolation. This is not because there are no people around you, but because you sense that you are vibrating at a different frequency from most of them. It is as if you are tuned to a radio station that very few can receive, creating the sensation of living between two worlds. This isolation is not a punishment. It is preparation. The universe is energetically separating you from influences that could interfere with your transformation. You may notice that conversations that once seemed normal now feel empty. Places you used to enjoy may start to drain your energy. People who were once close to you may now appear to operate within a completely different reality. Carl Jung described this as the differentiation process, where the psyche distances itself from collective influences in order to discover its authentic expression. You are not becoming antisocial. You are becoming more selective with your energetic connections because you have developed the sensitivity to distinguish what nourishes your soul from what depletes it. This isolation also tests your ability to find validation and inner strength without depending on external approval. The universe needs to know whether you can maintain your elevated state even when no one around you understands the changes you are going through. It must verify whether you can trust your inner truth even when it contradicts the opinions of the majority. During this phase, you may feel as if you are living inside a transparent bubble. You can see the world and interact with it, yet something essential has changed in the way you relate to everything around you. You realize that you can no longer pretend interest in things that do not resonate with your soul. You can no longer sustain relationships based only on convenience or habit. This experience of isolation is temporary but necessary. It is the universe creating the energetic space required for you to fully integrate the new version of yourself that is emerging. When you move beyond this stage, you will relate to the world in a more authentic and empowered way. The fifth sign is that you begin to receive information, insights, and inspirations through channels that you cannot logically explain. It is as if an inner antenna has been activated, allowing you to perceive frequencies that were previously unnoticed. This can occur through extremely vivid dreams, intuitions that later prove accurate, or sudden knowledge about situations you have never personally experienced. This opening of intuitive channels is not accidental. It is the universe testing your ability to navigate reality using not only logic, but also a deeper wisdom that goes beyond rational thinking. When you are being prepared to receive everything you deserve, you must develop the capacity to make decisions based on a more profound understanding of life. You may sense things about people before they speak. You may feel the energy of environments even before entering them. You may have strong impressions about situations that later turn out to be correct. This is not a supernatural power. It is the natural development of abilities that everyone possesses, but only a few learn to consciously cultivate. Jung explained that the collective unconscious holds the accumulated wisdom of humanity, and during periods of deep transformation, our connection to this source becomes stronger. What you are experiencing is a more direct access to this ancestral wisdom, which can guide you more effectively than logic alone. This process can initially feel confusing or even intimidating. You may question the reliability of these insights or hesitate to trust them. However, the universe is teaching you that when you finally receive what you deserve, you will need to move through unknown territories. For that journey, you will require an inner compass that continues to function even when no external map is available. The test here is your ability to balance rational thought with intuition, honoring both logic and the insights that arise from deeper levels of awareness. Those who successfully integrate these two forms of knowledge become exceptional navigators of reality and conscious creators of their own destiny. The sixth sign is that you begin to go through a series of endings and closures that seem to occur at the same time in different areas of your life. Relationships may end, projects may conclude, cycles may close, and you may feel as if you are in a period of deep, energetic purification. This is not coincidence. It is the universe creating space for everything that is about to enter your life. These closures are not always easy. They may involve painful losses, difficult farewells, or the end of situations that had been part of your life for a long time. Yet each ending is carefully aligned to remove from your reality everything that no longer matches the new version of yourself that is emerging. The test here is your ability to release without clinging, to close chapters with gratitude instead of resentment, and to view endings as necessary liberations rather than devastating losses. The universe needs to confirm that you can make room for the new without desperately holding on to the familiar. Carl Jung understood that psychological transformation always involves a symbolic death of the old self before the new self can fully emerge. These endings are external expressions of that symbolic death. You are literally closing chapters of your life so that a new one can begin. During this phase, you may feel as if you are losing everything. In reality, you are being freed from everything that limited your ability to receive what you truly deserve. Each door that closes creates space for a larger door to open. Each person who leaves your life makes room for deeper and more meaningful connections. The universe is testing your faith, your capacity to trust that a greater plan is unfolding even when you cannot yet see the full picture, and your ability to remain calm even when everything around you seems to be dissolving. The seventh and final sign is that you develop a stable and undeniable feeling that something extraordinary is about to occur in your life. This is not blind hope or forced optimism. It is a deep certainty that arises from a place beyond your conscious mind. It is as if your soul already understands what your personality has not yet fully realized. This feeling is not based on external proof. In fact, your outer life may appear completely ordinary or even difficult. Yet internally, you sense an anticipation that you cannot logically explain. It is as if you are carrying possibilities that have not yet manifested, but you know they are developing. This inner certainty is the strongest sign that you have passed the final test. Only those who have formed a deep connection with their inner truth can sense the future before it appears. You are not imagining this. You are perceiving the frequencies of a reality that is being prepared for you. Jung explained that the self, our deepest essence, exists beyond linear time and can perceive future potentials that have not yet taken form. When you feel this quiet certainty that something extraordinary is approaching, you are accessing the wisdom of a part of yourself that already knows what is coming. This sensation may be accompanied by intense synchronicities, meaningful dreams, or a calm sense of peace even during challenging circumstances. You may wake up on certain days feeling a shift in your energy, as if something changed during the night. The test here is your ability to sustain this certainty even when external reality does not yet mirror what you feel inside. The universe is evaluating whether you can hold an elevated vision of your life even before visible signs appear. When you maintain this unwavering inner trust, you become a magnet for experiences aligned with that higher frequency. You begin to attract into your life everything that resonates with this deep certainty that something extraordinary is unfolding. If you recognized yourself in most of these signs, pause for a moment and understand the significance of what this means. You are not simply going through a difficult phase. You are not being tested without purpose. You are being prepared to receive everything you deserve. The universe is applying the final test to ensure you are ready to consciously manage this level of abundance and fulfillment. The final test is not about proving your worth. You have always been worthy. It is about demonstrating that you have developed the mastery required to consciously co-create a higher reality. It is about showing that you can maintain your elevated state even under pressure, and that you can trust the process even when you do not fully understand what is happening. Every sign you recognized confirms that you are functioning at a higher level of awareness. You are no longer like most people who live reacting automatically to external events. You have cultivated the ability to observe, reflect, and consciously decide how you will respond to life. This test cannot be studied or memorized. There is no formula or manual. It is an organic evaluation of your evolution as a human being. It is the universe verifying whether you have truly integrated the lessons you claim to have learned and whether you have genuinely become the person you aspire to be. The reason only a small percentage of people recognize these signs is that most are still operating at levels of awareness where such tests are not yet presented. They are still learning foundational lessons about responsibility, self-knowledge, and integrity. You have already moved through those stages and are now being evaluated at a much more advanced level. When you pass the final test, you do not receive a certificate or a visible reward. What you receive is far more meaningful. You receive the reality you always sensed was possible. You receive the life you always felt you deserved. You gain the freedom to be who you truly are without hiding or minimizing yourself. The universe begins to trust you with levels of creation and manifestation that are not accessible to those who have not yet developed the maturity to handle such power. You become a conscious co-creator of reality, someone capable of shaping their life experience through the quality of their awareness. So if you identify with these signs, do not view them as obstacles. See them as confirmations that you are exactly where you need to be. Every challenge is an opportunity to demonstrate your mastery. Every test is a chance to prove to yourself that you have genuinely evolved. The extraordinary future you sense approaching is not an illusion. It is a reality being prepared for you because you have become someone capable of receiving it, valuing it, and using it responsibly. You are being tested because you are ready for levels of life that most people cannot even imagine. The universe's final test is, in truth, an invitation to assume your role as a conscious co-creator of reality, to live at the level your soul has always known was possible, and to receive everything you deserve, not because you demanded it, but because you became capable of honoring and expanding it. You have spent your entire life preparing for this moment. Every experience, every lesson, every hardship, and every joy were steps that led you here. Now the universe is verifying whether you are ready for the next level, and based on the signs you have recognized, you are. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust the wisdom of the universe that has never abandoned you and has never given you more than you could handle. You are being tested because you are ready. You are being prepared because you deserve it. Very soon, you will realize that every difficult moment was meaningful when you finally receive everything you always sensed was meant for you. The final test is almost complete. A new phase is approaching. And on the other side of this experience, a remarkable life is waiting for you. If you recognized yourself in these signs, if you felt that this message spoke directly to your inner self, then I want to share something that can help accelerate the transformation you are currently experiencing. I have created exclusive material titled 21 Days of Transformation with Carl Jung's Teachings. It is a complete ebook designed to guide you step by step through Jung's most effective techniques, so you can move through this final test and emerge as the most authentic version of yourself. This is not a typical ebook. It offers 21 days of practical exercises, deep reflections, and insights that will help you recognize when you are being tested, transform resistance into inner strength, consciously integrate your shadow, manifest the reality your soul has always known was possible, and navigate the individuation process without losing your sense of self. If you want to move beyond theoretical understanding and begin living this transformation in a practical way, the link is available in the first pinned comment of the video. Now I would like to know who truly stayed until the end of this video. Write in the comments, "I'm ready for the final test." This shows that you are not just a passive viewer, but someone genuinely committed to personal transformation. Remember, only a small percentage of people pass the final test. Not because it is impossible, but because most give up before discovering who they truly are. You did not arrive here by accident. Your soul guided you to this message because you are ready for the next stage. Thank you for staying until the end. Thank you for being one of those rare individuals who do not give up at the first difficulty. I will see you in the next video.